Everyone knows Nas Daily as a nice and innocent man who makes 1-minute videos on social media. However, when this post was published on Facebook, his true face was revealed to the public. Warning: Wang-Od Academy is a scam. My grandmother did not sign any contract with Nas Daily to do any academy. Some people are taking advantage of our culture. Please help us to stop this disrespect to the legacy of Apo Wang-Od and the Budboard tribe. This Facebook post sparked massive hatred for Nas Daily around the world.
There you go, the biggest hypocrite on YouTube.
People became enraged, resulting in a widespread social media campaign. #cancel Nas Daily to unfollow Nas Daily on all platforms. His reputation and the 40 million followers he had built across different platforms began to fall apart. Who was Wang-Od? How did Nas Daily scam her? Why did he lose more than 500,000 followers in a span of few days? Let's find out. One day, Nas Daily came to know about a 104-year-old Wonder Woman named Wang-Od who was famous for her tattooing abilities. What makes her unique is that she tattoos using thorns from the lemon tree as a needle and a secret ink made from the charcoal water and a dash of sugarcane juice. She is said to be the last tattoo artist in the Kalinga village, Philippines. Philippines is one of Nas Daily's favorite countries to make videos about because he claims that nearly 5% of the videos he has created are about the Philippines and 40% of his website Nas Academy is made up of Filipinos. He held his first ever meetup in the Philippines. He founded a company in the Philippines. He launched an app in the Philippines. So he has got a massive fan following from the Philippines. As Wang-Od's tattooing style is unique, people from all over the world travel to the Philippines to get these tattoos. Nas Daily was confident that if he could create a video about Wang-Od, it would quickly go viral. So he couldn't pass up the opportunity and travel to the Philippines with his team to create a video about her. But he had no idea he was about to become deeply involved in the biggest controversy of his career. What's going on, babes? You got my name. It's Akhil Mohanan. Welcome to Date. He traveled to the village and engaged in conversation with the members of the tribe, gaining insight into the traditions and customs of the people. He was really fascinated by the distinctive tattooing technique used by Wang-Od. So they filmed a detailed video telling the story of the world-famous tattoo artist and her village. On July 16, 2021, the video was uploaded to YouTube.
In the jungles of the Philippines, there is a woman who is 103 years old. She is the oldest tattoo artist in the world, and she doesn't use a tattoo machine, and she doesn't let you choose your own tattoo. Who is this woman, and why do tourists beg her to get a tattoo?
The video was well produced and informative, so it began to gain traction. But the problem started from here. For today's video, we flew all the way to the highlands of the Philippines to bring you this story. And what's even better is that we convinced Wang-Od to become a teacher. So she's now officially teaching on Nas Academy here. Learn from her everything about tattoos. See you tomorrow for another crazy story. Nas Daily launched a new course claiming to teach Wang-Od's tattooing skills online on his website Nas Academy. The course title was Learn the Ancient Art of Tattooing. He claimed that in that course, Wang-Od herself would be revealing all her rituals, tools and secret formulations of tattooing for making traditional tattoos. The price of the course was 750 Philippine pesos, which is approximately $14. On August 3rd, Wang-Od's granddaughter Gracia Palicas published this Facebook post. The hate for Nas Daily reached an all-time high following this post. He was accused of using Filipinos for Pinoy baiting on social media. People alleged that the only reason he was in the Philippines was to promote himself, to get views and to make money from the culture of the country, and the hatred was at a fever pitch. As a response to all these claims and allegations leveled against him, Nas published a statement with a video on his Facebook page. We approached Wang-Od because just like you, we love her. We love her traditions and are inspired by her. So we pitched her family the idea of creating Wang-Od Academy. Her and her family present both loved this idea and have worked with us us to build it, with Wang-Od teaching herself. As a matter of fact, Wang-Od's trusted niece Estella Palangdao was present and translated the content of the contract prior to Wang-Od affixing her thumbprint, signifying her full consent to the project. This is the clearest evidence that it is not a scam and achieved the consent of her and her immediate family. He also said that everybody was compensated for their time, and for every sale the Wang-Od Academy generates, most of it went directly to her and her family. We just provided the technology and the marketing. But Wang-Od's granddaughter Gracia Palikas was not willing to give up, and she responded to Nas Daily with a new Facebook post. I spoke to her and she said she did not understand what the translators were saying. I am sorry to tell you, she will not be joining the Nas Daily. I know you have good intentions of sharing our culture to the next generation. However, our village concern is that some people are profiting and exploiting our art and culture. I know you spoke to someone and gave some money and will share profits, but Wang-Od is not aware of your contract. Hope you sort this out. Thank you. Have a nice day. During the course of this controversy, on August 5, 2021, Nas was accused of another case of disrespect and hatred against another Filipino, which strengthened all these allegations against him. Luis Mabulo, who won the Nat Geo Young Explorer and Young Champions of the Earth Awards, accused Nas Daily of making fun of the local accent and language in 2019 when he came to cover her story about the Cacao Project.
Because this is the story of the chocolate lady of the Philippines.
The Cacao Project is a seed exchange and social enterprise that works with over 200 farmers in the Philippines, San Fernando region. In a Facebook post, she stated, "I watched him imitate and mock the local accent and language, vocalizing Tagalog-sounding syllabic phrases saying it sounded stupid." He repeatedly said that the people of my hometown poor. Farmers are so poor. Why are Filipinos so poor? He said no one wants to hear about farmers or farms. It's not clickable, viewable content. He didn't care about making change or shedding light on real issues. He only wanted content, a good easy story to tell that would get him more Filipino views. He even joked at the start of the day that all he needed was to put Philippines in the title and he'd drag in millions of views, and the comments would come flooding with brainless Pinoy pride comments. My family received no greetings nor any thanks from him when we received him into our home, going on to say we were only wasting his time. He refused to eat food my mom had spent the whole morning preparing for him, knowing that he'd be tired or hungry. I've worked with journalists, documentary makers, professors who have seen my work, interviewed me, and even featured us, and have had no negative experiences that could ever brush up to what I saw that day. This single post was more than enough to add fuel to the fire of all the allegations leveled against him. It quickly went viral and the public reaction was intense. But Nas Daily came up with this side of the story. He said, "Dear Louis, I have also kept my silence for 2 years out of respect to you, but I can't let you share falsehood on the internet for free. We spent 2 days flying and we were very excited for your story of how you revolutionized the cacao industry in your province according to the internet. We know the story already, so that's why we flew in to come meet you. To my biggest sadness and surprise, your story was not true on the ground. Once we arrived at your plantation, once we saw the village and talked to the farmers, we came to the conclusion that there is no story here, that the awards on the internet are just that, awards. Our investigation has made it clear that your story in the media is false, and that there are no 200 farmers that you work with, and there are no cacao plantations that you don't personally profit from. Even though we flew in for 2 days, we had to pack up and leave because I will never ever put fake news on Nas Daily. I was so sad because we have invested tens of hours to support you." Project Nightfall, the famous YouTuber who was with Nas Daily on a daily basis while filming the video, also went online to explain what really happened. In his video, he also claims that the Cacao Project story they read online was completely fake.
The video about Luis was one of the biggest surprises I have ever experienced on my journey. It was a story that has even been covered by the UN, so we thought it must be verified. Her program was meant to help farmers grow cocoa trees instead of coconut trees so they can make more money. And so we went to see farmers growing these trees. But the problem was that they were all dying. tiny dying trees. They looked nothing like those around Louis' plantation. From one farmer to another farmer, we were driving in between for a few hours and couldn't find even one good-looking healthy tree.
When they visited her cacao farm, the trees appeared to be healthy and beautiful. However, he later claims that the trees were only good in the areas where she invited them. When they went to inspect other farmers' plantations, they were surprised because there was not even one healthy cacao tree. All of the trees were tiny and dying. These trees were nothing like Louis' plantation. They then went on to confirm this from one farmer to the next, but what they found was the same tiny dying trees. He said that's why Nas Daily couldn't finish the video, because it would be a lie if the story was shared online, so they left. When we analyze this incident, all we find are accusations made online against each other. Nas Daily still stands strong in the things he said. And in the case of Wang-Od issue, NCIP, the National Commission of Indigenous Peoples, the government agency in charge of protecting the rights of the Philippines indigenous people, became aware of the problem and launched an investigation. After reviewing the case, NCIP said that as the Kalinga tribe is an indigenous group, their ancient art of tattooing is a collective property of the entire tribe. As a result, Nas required the approval of the entire community, not just Wang-Od. Unfortunately, Nas Daily was not aware of these indigenous tribe rules in the Philippines, which was a mistake made by him. As Nas Daily is the face of more than 50 million people, he had to clear his side. So he sent out an entire team to Wang-Od's village to resolve the situation and drafted a new contract that included her family's demands, which is a highly appreciable thing. So now both parties are satisfied and at peace. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, but wait a minute, look at this shocking video. People undergo plastic surgery to look beautiful, but they end up looking terrible and die after the plastic surgery. Do you know why? Watch this video.